Tonight on the Pioneers Sideline, we take a look at how the soccer teams finished up their season before the playoffs. Then we take a look at the volleyball team, basketball team, and national sports. After that, we finish up with a case of the week, all that and more as we head on down to the Pioneers Sideline. Welcome to the Pioneers Sideline. I am your host, Chris Hoffman. Kyle Anthony now joins us in studio to discuss how the women's soccer team finished up their season heading into the KIAC tournament.
Well, Chris, the Point Park women's soccer team has played 3 games since the last time we met. Before the Pioneers played a game, one of their players received an award, and that was Lisa Tokarski, who won KIAC Offensive Player of the Week because of the 2 goals she scored against Brescia. Point Park's first game was played against conference and city rival Carlo. That game went into 2 overtimes and finished at a tie, 1-1. Carlo went in the half with a 1-goal lead after Lisa Tomac scored a goal in the 32nd minute. There was no action again until the 60-minute mark when Emily Lever tied the game. That was the last kind of action, but the Pioneers did outshoot Carlo 11-3. The Pioneers' last conference matchup was on the road at Asbury, and the Pioneers lost that game 1-0. That game was tied at 0 after the first half, but just after the 58-minute mark, Asbury got the only goal of the game, and that was by Kate Hall. Point Park outshot Asbury 13-6. The last regular season game the Pioneers played was against Georgetown, and the Pioneers lost that game to 1-0. Georgetown got the game-winning goal just at the 41-minute mark, and that goal was scored by Kelsey Arney. The Pioneers outshot Georgetown 5-1. The Pioneers' season record finished at 6-11-1, and their KIAC record was 4-1-1. The Pioneers' next game will be the opening round of the KIAC tournament November 2nd.
Now, Kyle, the Pioneers finish up their season losing their final 2 games. What does that do for this team's psyche moving into the KIAC tournament coming up in a few weeks here?
That's definitely a really big thing for this team because they struggled to score goals, and that's something they struggled at times to do. So it's very concerning seeing that team not be able to score, especially when they've outshot people. So this team really just needs to get back on track and kind of get in that mental state they're at when they played a very good Carlo team.
Now, if this KIAC tournament coming up, you see Brescia is going to be playing the Pioneers on November 2nd. Then November 5th, there's Carlo if the Pioneers do win that game, and that's if necessary. And then the women's finals will be November 9th. Kyle, what do you see the Pioneers being able to do in this time frame? Do you think they're going to be able to come through and make it through the finals and push for that KIAC tournament win?
You know what? I think they'll actually be able to do that. And the reason for that is this team has played very well against KIAC opponents all year. So I think they'll be able to muster up enough scoring because their defense is good enough to keep them in every game. But they played well against all the KIAC tournaments, which is shown by the 4 victories they have. So I think they'll be able to put some goals on the board, especially with Lisa Tokarski getting more playing time, which she lacked earlier in the season.
Now, before we leave you here, Kyle, what do you think the team needs to do to get all that offense going to really give themselves an advantage in the KIAC tournament?
I think the thing they really need to do is keep working more stuff towards the net and get more aggressive. Because the more aggressive you are going towards the net, trying to get a second opportunity, trying to mess with the defense and playing better without the ball, you'll give yourself more shots and more opportunities.
Thanks, Kyle. The men's soccer team also finished up their regular season this past weekend, and Tim Hardy now joins us in studio to discuss their end of the season.
Well, Point Park was having a great few weeks, having a winning streak up to 6 wins. Unfortunately, Grove City College snapped their winning streak. The game started off slow, not having a goal until the 64th minute by Johnny Lukes, assisted by Ramita Nanko. The Pioneers had control for a bit and a while until the 82nd minute when Seth Liu for Grove City College hit a goal off the rebound Frank Huber to have a final score at having 2-1. Point Park got back to work because they had to face Berea College, and not just that, it was a senior day, having at least 7 seniors. Lucas Sylvia had a goal, having his 8th of the year. Early in the game, along with Max Flick, later on Troy Dolanch and Dominica Canello increased the lead to 4-0, having their own goals. They also had a goal by Anel Cooper and Frazier McKinley, making the final score being 6-0. Jonty Lukes was also Offensive Player of the Week with 4 assists and only 1 goal and 6 points altogether. Point Park will probably have the #1 seed in the tournament. Point Park finished the season with a 10-6 record, being 4-0 in the KIAC.
Now, Tim, you see the end of the season, the Pioneers demolished Berea 6-0. What type of message does that send to the rest of the KIAC with the Pioneers being #1 going into the playoffs for this KIAC/GCAC tournament?
Well, it shows they're the top dog in the conference. You know, for 2 straight seasons, they have been able to win the KIAC. And this year, they just done it again. So far, they've been on a great roll. So I think it's going to be good fortune for them coming into this tournament.
Now, also, Tim, they've only given up 1 goal in all of conference play this season, and they've been absolutely demolishing teams. Do you really think this is going to push them through the KIAC tournament and make it to their 2nd straight NAI national tournament?
I believe it's going to be enough for Point Park. You know, they've been on a roll against their tournament, so they've been able to find a way to beat people in their conference. So if they can find ways to just keep doing what they're doing, their defense is playing great with Derek Whiteson. And you got to say at least the offense backs it up. You have Lucas Sylvia, and also just find different ways to do things.
Now, Tim, what do you think this team's going to do during the tournament? Do you think they can go all the way and win the KIAC for a 2nd straight season?
Chris, I believe they can. You know, they've been doing really good. So they've been able to find ways to really do what they need to do during this season. And I see so far they're the best team throughout, no doubt about it. So I believe they're going to be able to do it again.
Thanks, Tim. After the break, we will take a look at how the volleyball team and women's basketball team did this weekend. You're watching the Pioneer Sideline here on UView.